received a massive package in the mail today from Zuru Toys, and they sent me not just one of their new X-Shot blasters from their Ninja-themed line, and if you don't happen to know who Ninja is, he's one of the most popular video game streamers on Twitch right now in the entire world. But this guy has a massive following and a ton of fans, enough for him to get his own lineup of themed toy blasters. But they sent me the entire lineup. Now, you might notice this is, well, the artist formerly known as the X-Shot Micro, and every blaster in the set is a re-themed version of X-Shot blasters with a Ninja logo and a different paint scheme on them, and they all include one of these nice-looking metal dog tags on them. So I have a lot of blasters I need to cover. Some of these I haven't talked about before, some of them I have. So let's just plow through the entire set, starting with the Stealth here, also again known as the Micro. These blasters are a one-off, so once they sell out, they're done. They're never coming back. They're kind of a collector's item, or at least that's the idea of them. So if you are a fan of Ninja and you want to get something like this, then, well, you better check your store shelves in mid-May. Or June if you live somewhere else in the world, because once they're gone, they're apparently gone. The X-Shot Ninja Stealth Blaster comes with the blaster itself, 8 darts, and a nice metal Ninja dog tag that says X-Shot Cross Ninja on the back of it, which is a really nice little thing. It actually looks really freaking good and really high quality for what it is. I'm rather impressed. The blaster itself is no slouch. The Micro, at least the new 2019-2018 version, is a stupidly strong blaster. Those range claims on the box are no lie. They say this thing can hit upwards of 80 feet, and it definitely can. And what's more surprising is this is still a reverse plunger blaster, but with a really heavy spring in it, and it's extremely efficient. So while it may look goofy, tiny, and uncomfortable, and every other synonymous word that goes with a relatively what you would think goofy blaster, it packs an absolute punch. And it's a blaster you should definitely pay attention to if you want something that's small, compact, and extremely powerful. Just don't keep the thing loaded in your pocket or something, because that dart is going to get absolutely destroyed. But a nice little option that is relatively cheap and accessible. And the main difference with this one is, instead of having the X-Shot logo, it's got Ninja's logo on the side of it, and it's got a nice blue and yellow paint scheme. So overall, a good choice if you just want something small and powerful. Up next is the X-Shot Ninja No Res, also known as the Fury 4. It is a 4-shot auto-rotating revolver that is really compact for what it's supposed to be, and boasts range claims up to 90 feet, a little bit above that of the Stealth because it's a much bigger plunger tube and a direct plunger system. And this is a very comfortable, compact blaster that does hold 4 darts and does automatically rotate with every prime. Comes with 8 darts and the exact same metal dog tag. And much like most of the X-Shot blasters, this one is no slouch. I think it's a bit better than something like the Micro, although it is bigger, because the darts don't stick out the front very much. In fact, it's a really good holsterable option, and I really dig the translucent yellow priming rod. I'm a big fan of yellow and blue, and for good reason. They're complementary colors. They're also just one of my favorite design schemes, and I think because this shares the same design aesthetics with the Fury 4, it looks absolutely phenomenal, especially with the negative space right here. And it is an absolute powerhouse, much like most of the X-Shot blasters, with its including darts hitting upwards of 85 FPS. In fact, I think I got a high of 88 with this one. So another good option for a sidearm if you're looking for something that's a bit more powerful, but a bit bigger, but you can rapid fire it with more shots than just a one front loader. Actually, one of the better sidearms I think you could possibly get, and relatively inexpensive. And now we have the X-Shot Ninja Quickscope Blaster. No res, quickscope, I'm starting to see what they did there. Or the blaster known as also the Hawkeye, and this is a front-loading yet break action, pump action blaster that includes a plastic scope. It doesn't actually magnify anything, it just looks cool. And it is just a single shot. You've got dart storage back here for 4 darts, and every single time you pull the trigger, the stock recoils a little bit. So if you're actually shouldering this, you're not going to notice anything, but if you're just holding it, you can see that the stock vibrates back and forth with every trigger pull, and it looks absolutely amazing, and it's very comfortable in my opinion. Although again, it's a not only a break action one-shot front loader, but pump action on top of that. So it's not exactly the most competitive blaster ever, but the ranges are really good, advertising up to 90-foot ranges. And yes, it does hit upwards of 85 FPS, and honestly, it looks really freaking cool. So if that's exactly your dig, then this might be the blaster for you. It does come with some of these target cans that you are able to shoot if you want an actual target that flies back whenever you hit it, which is pretty cool. The original also came with these kinds of things. So yeah, and of course you get your complimentary Ninja X-Shot dog tag. I'm gonna have a lot of these things by the end. And now stepping up to the plate, the Ninja X-Shot Turbo Strike, also known as the Turbo Fire. And this is a really cool looking blaster that has an interesting feature. Well, two interesting features. It has a flip up sight, so if you press this button right here, a little iron sight pops up, which is pretty tactical. And unfortunately, you'd think this is a pump grip, but it is not. This is the actual grip right here, and it has a 20-round drum with some dart storage on it if you really wanted to, but most importantly, it has slam fire. And it has the same range claims as everything else, which makes it a pretty competent blaster that looks cool. I find it really comfortable. If you have bigger hands than me or thicker wrists, this might get in your way, but I find it extremely comfortable. And while it isn't the pump action blaster of our dreams here, it having slam fire and being this comfortable and this cool looking, I can forgive a lot of that. And yes, the same 85 to 90 FPS ranges that we've come to know so far. Honestly, this is one of my more favorite blasters. While the Turbo Advance does have a higher capacity than this one, I think this looks cooler. And I think because it has slam fire, it's a more fun blaster. Although with it being this big, well, you could technically secondary it. It would be really easy to attach to a sling or something. Actually, you know what? Now that I say that, that might be the best, because this is extremely comfortable to just spam off shots with. So this might be one of the better blasters in my opinion. I'm kind of really digging this one. And it comes with 3 more of those target cans, 40 freaking darts, which is insane, and another Ninja dog tag. And last but certainly not least, the X-Shot Ninja Justice, also known as the X-Shot Regenerator. And this is your massive combiner robot of the entire line, and it comes with more attachments that you probably know what to do with. You've got a stock, which fits on the end like that. You've got multiple barrels that you can choose from. You've got a shorty right here and a longer one right there. We'll go with the longer one for the moment. And they attach on kind of how you would expect, much like the Nerf stuff. A scope that doesn't magnify but does look pretty freaking cool, so we can slide that onto the rail right there and it locks into place. 2 dart holders that will fit on the rails of the blaster, whether they're on the barrel, up here at the top, on the side of the blaster, doesn't quite matter. Wherever there's a rail, you can attach one of the dart holders to it. A bipod that also works on the rail, and it will just fold down like that and kind of lock into place. I'm starting to regret using the longest barrel and everything. I can't fit this in frame. And 2 of the clips that the Regenerator uses, as well as things like the Bug Attack Blaster. So this is a 10-shot harmonica style blaster that does come with 3 more of the target cans over here, 48 darts or 24 per pack, and another Ninja dog tag. Oh hey, I missed this too. It actually comes with a little peep sight here that you can put on instead of a scope. It has so many attachments, I'm losing attachments. The Justice doesn't have slam fire or anything like that, but it does have a pump grip with a vertical foregrip right there, making it really easy to grab, and it is kind of level with the rest of the blaster. And you just load the harmonica style clips into the side, and the first problem I have is that there's no stop for this. It just kind of falls a little through, which is a little disappointing, but you can easily rack off shots with it. Unfortunately, the Justice hits the softest of any of these blasters, and I'm not quite sure why. It's about on standard with what you'd expect from a dart blaster, but definitely not up to X-Shot levels. So that makes this blaster relatively interesting, and the stock does actually hold your spare clip if you need it to. Like so, and it clicks into place, which clicks into place there, but doesn't click into place when you feed it into the barrel? That's a little confusing, but that is in fact a thing, and if you want to use it as a sniper rifle kind of setup with using the bipod, you still have room to grip the pump grip, which is relatively different. And of course you can mix and match these attachments to make whatever loadout you prefer, and it's kind of cool they give you an extra option using 2 different barrels if you want to have something a little bit more compact, like so. So this is probably the most fun blaster of the lot because you have a lot of different play options, but when it comes to being a competitive blaster, and while it does have these clips that you can use, honestly, the fact that they don't click into place when you load them in there and you can easily shove the entire thing through the blaster accidentally and skip darts, that's going to hurt its competitive usage quite a bit, but it does look really cool and it does function rather well, so not a whole lot I can complain about. Plus, this stock actually holds some spare darts right there. This thing's just full of secrets. Unfortunately, like I put up in text at the very beginning of the video, I don't know how much these blasters cost, so it's kind of hard for me to judge their effectiveness versus their value, but X-Shot has historically been a really competitive brand, and most of their blasters not only perform very well, but they're reasonably inexpensive to boot. Out of all these, I think my favorites were the No Res or the Turbo Strike, just because of how competitive useful they are to me, and the fact that they look really frickin' cool to boot. The other blasters are a lot of fun, and of course the Stealth is absolutely tiny compared to every other blaster on the market, and fires excessively hard as well, so that's one that you should keep out for, and if you want to just collect one of these Ninja dog tags because you happen to be a fan of Ninja, that's probably the cheapest way to go about it, but any of these blasters are a good choice if you're looking for a budget yet somewhat competitive option, because all of these fire extremely hard for a dart blaster. I mean, these hit harder than most Nerf blasters, so that kind of brings them into their own. While none of these blasters are necessarily new, but if you happen to be a big fan of Ninja or you're a big fan of the color scheme like I am, these blasters might be worth picking up, but you can pick them up at Target first in the US and everywhere else coming June in the rest of the world, so keep a lookout for them. I think they're going to be worth your time, especially the Turbo Strike. I'm quite in love with that blaster as a spammy sidearm kind of thing. Probably should have reviewed the Turbo Advance a long time ago, because I'm really, really digging the Turbo Strike. Anyway, I'm Walcom S7. Let me know what you think about these blasters down in that comment section below. Which one is your favorite, and do you think any of these are worth getting? I'd love to get your feedback on them, or even if you already have one of these blasters, like let's say the Micro versus the Stealth, do you think it would be worth picking up the Stealth just for the dog tag and the different paint scheme? I'd love to get your feedback on that kind of stuff. Other than that, I'm Walcom S7. Thank you so much for watching this video, and of course, I hope to see you in an entirely different one.
You gotta